Hey, this is John Martinez. We've been training sales teams across the nation for about 20 years now. Now, one of the main problems that many business owners and sales leaders come to us with is a problem with prospects who just kind of fall off the face of the earth. They go through their sales process, they have a meeting or two or three, and they seem to be going pretty well. But then all of a sudden they hear something like, this sounds great, let us look things over, let us talk to other vendors, let's do fill in the blank for whatever they need to do, and then we'll get back to you. And the problem is, oftentimes, this just never happens. Oftentimes, you're left wondering what happened. You've got a bloated pipeline because you've got all these people you've talked to. You don't want to disqualify because the last conversations were good, and they're sitting there in your pipeline, and that just gets bigger and bigger, and that's harder and harder to manage. And it's really frustrating knowing that I've got some deals in here somewhere, but I don't know what went wrong or how to address it, and now I can't even get a hold of them. So here's a quick tip. Here's what you can actually do today that'll stop that and prevent that from happening in the future. What you want to always do is just make sure you're the person setting the next step. You want to be sure you are in control of the next step. And this is really awesome. I'll tell you how it works. Even if they say I want to think about it, you just simply follow it up with something like, hey, listen, totally understand. How long do you think it'll take? A week. All right. Well, hey, you need a week. Let me give you 10 days. I'm going to put you down on the calendar for a follow-up in 10 days. I'll give you a call at this date, at this time. I'll leave a message. If I don't hear back from you, or if you don't pick up, then I'll know that probably something's gone wrong, or you're doing business with someone else, or for some reason, this thing is just dead, and I'll take you out of my pipeline, and I'll leave you alone. When you do something like that, here's why it's so beautiful. Number one, you control the next step. So now you have a concrete next step. You know what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. The other great thing about it is sometimes they're going to tell you no. And when they tell you no, one of two things has happened. Either it really is a no, and they just didn't have the heart to tell you. Which when you think about it, that makes sense. Usually when your prospects tell you no, they usually like you. They don't want to hurt your feelings, so they give you something that's not a no, but it's non-committal. Or you're going to uncover a hidden objection. It might sound something like, well, listen, I'm still a little unsure about this, so I'm not sure if that next step makes sense. Hey, listen, we still need to pull these people into the conversation and talk to them about this and this, so I don't know if that next conversation makes sense. So you see, when you do this, you can't lose. You're either setting up that next step, or you're finding out it really is a no, and you can just test that no with something like, hey, usually when people don't want to set up the next step, it's sometimes because they've already decided we're not a fit, and they just didn't have the heart to tell me. They're being nice and polite. Is that what's going on here? So you'll get a no, or you'll uncover what's holding that deal back. And now that you uncover that hidden objection or fear, or we like to call them deal killers, you can actually address it. You can modify next steps. You can do a number of things, but now you're in the clear. So when you set that next step, you literally can't lose. You're either setting up your next step, killing the deal because you should be disqualifying that prospect, and now you're not spending ages following up with them, or you're uncovering what's standing in the way right now, and you can deal with it while the time is right. So I want you to think about it like this. I equate it to when I go to the dentist. Now, every single time I go to the dentist, here's what happens. I'll go in, I'll see the dentist. If I have any issues, he will put together a treatment plan for me. And on my way out of the office, I stop at the front desk, which I'm required to do to sign out, and they set the next step with me. They say, John, what do you want to do first on your treatment plan? When do you want to do it? Let's go ahead and set that up. Now, why do you think they do that? Why do you think the dentist office does that? Well, they probably do it because they thought they had all kinds of next steps set up with patients, and for one reason or the other, they didn't show up, right? It could be because they didn't have the money. It could be because they were scared. It could be any number of reasons. So now the dentist's office sets that next step. So let's say they did it, and I didn't have the money to get whatever treatment they were proposing. Well, I'd say, hey, I'd like to set up the next step, but here's the deal. I gotta wait till I have money for the procedure. Then they're gonna address it. They're gonna either say, okay, we'll schedule a callback, or hey, we've got a credit card, why don't you go ahead and apply for credit? This will take care of it. It's very simple, easy. Most of our patients use it. They're progressing me. They're finding out what's happened, and they're addressing it. Or I might say something like, hey, I'm not ready to set it up. They go through all that stuff and I say, you know what, I just really don't think it's a big issue. I'm probably not gonna get anything done. They say, that's okay. But now they know I'm not coming back. Whatever happens, my dentist office isn't losing, right? It's not setting up appointments with people who can't show. If there's problems that are gonna keep them from coming back, they can address the problems right now. And you know what? Whatever's happening, they kind of skip to the future and they figure it out right now so they can deal with it. That's basically what's going on. So the takeaway for you, what you can have your sales team start doing right now is instruct them that whenever they get some form of, let me get back to you, say, you know what, I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and set up this next step. If for any reason you need to cancel it, change it, modify it, that's okay. I'll reach out at this time and date. Let's agree on it. Awesome. If I don't get a hold of you or I don't hear from you afterwards, I'll know that something's gone awry. Maybe you decided the problem's not important enough to fix. Maybe you're doing business with someone else. It doesn't matter. I'll just know that something's happened and there's no longer to reach out anymore, and I'll cancel out any work we've done or any proposal we have, and we'll move on. You don't have to worry about even taking that call with me or being pressured. Now, that's perfect. That's going to allow you to keep control of the next step. And if there's any hidden objections or fears or concerns, they're going to pop out right there. And now you can deal with them, which is much better than just waiting and reaching out and having your prospects go dark on you. So, hey, I hope this video helped. I love doing these little videos for you. If you found it valuable, or if you know anyone else that needs that message, that needs help with that specific issue, please share this video.